One more question, yeah.
You've spoken very highly of the role of the party and the virtue of working within the party mechanism. Perhaps maybe a little more than speaking of the role of Parliament. What's your view of crossing the floor on a question, and perhaps also with your experience as a minister, how does it work with God, Caesar and your conscience when you have a Westminster minister's responsibility to the Cabinet?
Well, I think I can honestly say that while I have been required to defend decisions that I thought were ill-advised, I have never been required to defend decisions which were unconscionable. And if I ever thought I was, well, I'd have to resign. So, I think there's a clear distinction between Cabinet solidarity on issues which are a matter of prudential judgment and Cabinet solidarity on issues which are matters of conscience. One is, I think, a sensible thing. The other is something which I just don't think anyone should feel under any obligation to maintain. Now, when it comes to crossing the floor, we have many obligations, we have many duties, and yes, we have a duty to our conscience, yes, we have a duty to our country, we have a duty to our electorate, and we also have an important duty to our parliamentary colleagues. Now, which should take priority in any particular situation is, again, a matter for judgment, a matter mostly for prudential judgment and for the careful weighing, often of consequences. Now, if I thought that the government was pursuing something that was perhaps not unconscionable but was nevertheless bizarre, ridiculous, stupid, sure, I should consider crossing the floor. But having considered it, whether I should do it or not, I guess would depend upon my judgment as to its likely long-term consequences. I mean, would that make it more or less likely that good things would happen in the future? And that would be something for me to judge. I mean, I think that in our democracy, where there are few things which are genuinely conscience issues, the vast majority of things that come before the Parliament are really matters of prudential judgment, that you are not being fair to your colleagues to lightly threaten to cross the floor, and you're certainly not being fair to your colleagues if you frequently do it. Yes, by all means, if you feel strongly enough, give it a go. But I think if you feel so strongly that you want to do it more than once or twice in a political career, you maybe ought to think about your other obligations as well, because there is almost no one who is in the Parliament who wouldn't be there but for the political party under whose flag they sail. And so I think we've got to be very careful about turning our back on our party. One last question, yes?
You talk about being morally obliged.
Mm-hmm.
With the new arrangement for carbon emissions trading scheme, do you think...
This is the most important moral issue of our time. I mean, it is, isn't it? Sorry.
Would you... No, seriously. The people that would most likely suffer from some sort of arrangement like that, would you be actively supporting something different to that arrangement to benefit those kind of people?
Well, I think that governments should take prudent precautions against credible threats, and I think that it's sensible for governments to try to minimise greenhouse gas emissions consistent with preserving a strong economy and a cohesive society. Now, if we, in the pursuit of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, impose significant costs upon people, well, it would be perfectly appropriate to, in some way, compensate the more vulnerable of those people on whom those costs are imposed. But we're in opposition. It is the government which has to come up with this scheme, and one of the things I think that the new government is discovering is that opposition is a lot easier than government, and good luck, I say to them, when it comes to working out a way of being consistent to your exaggerated green rhetoric and at the same time supportive of your working class constituency. I think they'll have an enormous difficulty reconciling that, and I'll pray for them. Thanks, John.
We should practice our faith in the public sphere, in the political sphere. It's such a sensitive thing. I'm sure a lot of people didn't agree with things Tony said tonight. I'm sure other people did. So I think he did a good job of presenting his views as a Christian. So thanks again, Tony. Just give him a hand. Now, just a few quick thank yous. Thanks to everyone that helped with organising tonight. It doesn't just happen. So a lot of people chipped in to make it happen. A few people I'd like to single out are Fiona Basil for taking some great photos that you can find on our website, which is theology@thePub.com.au, and Brother Dean Matheson for making the flyers. The flyers for the next Theology at the Pub, they're on the bar just over there. So have a look. It's Bishop Peter Elliott is the next speaker. It's the last one before World Youth Day. So that'll be huge. It'll be a great opportunity for everyone to sort of catch up and take stock before the big event. It's on the 8th of July, and the topic is what the Mass really is. So what is Mass really? If you haven't already, put your email address on the sign-up sheet. It's on the bar as well. So do that, you'll receive the emails and you'll know when these sort of events are on. And there's also a couple of other events that are advertised there. There's a acoustic night that the Franciscans are organising, an opportunity to find out a bit about abortion and euthanasia, which are two issues in the Parliament, facing the Parliament in Victoria at the moment. All the flyers are there. And also Paul Woodbury, if he puts his hand up here, come and talk to him if you're interested in participating in a euthanasia protest tomorrow morning. Just come and see him. Now, just finally, just to help us with a few of the costs, like our website, buying gifts, and a few other things, I've got a little paper donation box here, which you may remember, and it's still very flimsy. It's not very good at holding coins, so it's much better at holding notes. But I'm just joking. That's entirely voluntary. No one's obliged to pay anything for coming tonight. It is a free event. That's just for people that feel they want to donate, they want to support the event. We really appreciate it. So come and see me or look for the pink box if you want to do that. So thanks for everyone for coming. Please stick around and enjoy a meal, enjoy a beer. The Pump House is really good to let us use this venue, so we need to support them in turn. And have a good rest of the night. Thank you. Thanks, Tony.